In 1961, NASA turned to USACE to build launch facilities for the Apollo program. The centerpiece of that effort was the John F. Kennedy Space Center in Florida that launched the moon landing in 1969. Passage of significant environmental legislation in the 1970s, including the National Environmental Policy Act and the Clean Water Act amendments, require the Corps to greatly expand environmental review and permitting programs and hire a new generation of experts on natural systems. The creation of the Defense Environmental Restoration Program, first funded by a 1983 law, led to a noteworthy enlargement of the Corps' environmental work. The new program added hazardous waste disposal from formerly used defense sites and the removal of unsafe buildings, ordnance, and other debris from both active and former military sites. The Water Resources Development Act of 1986 signaled a major historical change in how water projects are financed by requiring cost sharing by non-federal partners for most projects. WRDA 86 authorized key infrastructure projects for flood risk management, navigation, and water supply, established a project management system for the Army Corps of Engineers, and promoted environmental protection and ecosystem restoration. The 1988 Stafford Act restructured federal disaster response, funded relief efforts, established disaster declaration procedures, and enhanced coordination among agencies. It also streamlined the Corps of Engineers' role in flood mitigation and response operations. Between 1991 and 2005, 5 successive rounds of the base realignment and closure initiatives resulted in major increases in USACE's military construction program. In 1991, in response to Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein's invasion of Kuwait, U.S. and international coalition forces launched Operation Desert Storm, Desert Shield. USACE provided construction and real estate support to coalition forces during operations and helped rebuild Kuwait after hostilities ended. The 1993 Mississippi River flood, one of the most devastating in U.S. history, impacted 9 states. Prolonged rains caused widespread flooding, leading to billions in damages. The Army Corps of Engineers coordinated the flood fight and provided critical engineering support during the crisis. On September 11, 2001, al-Qaeda terrorists attacked the World Trade Center in New York City and the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, killing more than 3,000 people. In both locations, USACE provided valuable expertise and services. In New York, USACE floating plants immediately began evacuating people out of Manhattan. Later, the New York District moved 1.2 million tons of debris to Staten Island. At the Pentagon, USACE structural engineers examined the building's integrity to allow it to open for business the day after the attack. In response to the attacks of 9/11, U.S. forces invaded Afghanistan in 2001, Operation Enduring Freedom, and Iraq in 2003, Operation Iraqi Freedom, to effect regime change. USACE supported OEF with construction of facilities for the Afghan army and police, and to modernize the country's public services. In Iraq, USACE worked to restore the oil industry, electricity supply, and the country's other critical infrastructure. Failures in the levee system protecting New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina in 2005 led to a growing awareness of the value of our infrastructure and one of the most complex risk analysis carried out by the Corps as part of an interagency task force. At the same time, through its dam and levee safety programs, USACE was becoming a world leader in using risk to make better decisions about how to invest in aging infrastructure. USACE responded to the devastation caused by Superstorm Sandy, which struck densely populated areas of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania in late October 2012. Coordinating with FEMA, they carried out critical missions, including power restoration, debris removal, reopening ports, and pumping floodwaters. In 2018, and again in 2025, catastrophic wildfires in California cost human lives and destroyed thousands of private dwellings, schools, and public offices. Following both incidents, USACE helped remove debris, hazardous waste, and contaminated soil to enable the affected communities to rebuild. In the spring of 2020, the Corps of Engineers responded to the COVID-19 pandemic by protecting its active duty and civilian workforce while simultaneously undertaking a nationwide construction program of alternate care facilities to address potential shortages of hospital beds. The Corps modified 38 existing buildings into facilities with the capacity of more than 15,000 beds. On 26 March 2024, the Francis Scott Key Bridge across the Patapsco River at the entrance of the Baltimore Harbor collapsed when the cargo ship Dolly rammed one of its piles. The destruction killed 6 maintenance workers and closed the harbor for all traffic. In a record 77 days, USACE removed the bridge debris and reopened the shipping lanes. For 250 years, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has enabled our nation's soldiers to win wars, strengthen the economy, and reduce risk for hundreds of millions of Americans. It's a mission USACE will continue to perform into the future.